Hi, what's up? Y'all ever see a listing for a figure that you want, except that it's like a billion yen, even though it retailed for maybe 10,000 yen or something? 'Cause I do. Quite a lot, actually. And I never want to pay that price because your girl's got limited money, and is also kind of a cheapskate, so I only ever want to pick up pre-owned figures if they're close to retail. Problem is that for some figures, getting it for retail price is basically a pipe dream. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I want some re-releases. So back in 2014, Good Smile Company released the original Cardcaptor Sakura nendoroid, and then a couple years later in 2017, they released the xiaolang nendoroid. And then, both were re-released in 2021 in celebration of Clamp's 30th anniversary. But for some reason, despite having originally released in 2015, 2 years before the xiaolang nendoroid, the Tomoyo nendoroid never got that same treatment. Where is the Tomoyo re-release? How could they have done the other two but not her? She literally goes for 25,000 yen on Ami Ami pre-owned and on Mandarake, and even a decent aftermarket price hovers around $150, which is still way too much for a nendoroid. Frankly, I'm not even that into nendoroids, but if Tomoyo ever re-releases, I would order her in a heartbeat. Just look at this faceplate! Who at Good Smile Company do I need to sell my soul to get this to happen? And since we're already on the topic of Cardcaptor Sakura, I would also like a re-release of the Kotobukiya Artifix J Lee Xiaolang figure. Honestly speaking, I was never a big fan of his traditional outfit until I saw pictures of this figure, so I really gotta hand it to Kotobukiya for delivering on this one. I have seen him on Yahoo Japan auctions and Mercari Japan and all that stuff, for not the worst prices, but you know, with the new Clear Card anime project coming up eventually, just open up pre-orders again, you know? Like, I'll get him. For sure. Have my money. And to round out the trio, I would like to mention the current most overpriced Sakura scale figure in the aftermarket, one of my most sought after Sakura figures, the Sakura and Kero-chan Sakura card version, also from Kotobukiya. Alright, Kate from the future here just to jump in to say that as of May 15th, this figure has officially been put up for pre-order again. So, of course, your girl pre-ordered her. Day 1, naturally. Thank you, Kotobukiya. So yeah, this one has officially been manifested. I love you, Kotobukiya! Anyway, back to the video. And since we're already here, let's just keep this Kotobukiya train going. Coco from Witch Hat Atelier. You know that a manga is banging when it gets figures even before it gets adapted into an anime. But when the anime does come out, she better get a re-release. I swear I will buy her so fast. Day 1 pre-order guaranteed. I love that it's based off this illustration. She looks so cute, and the little brush buddy is so cute, and this orb thing looks so sick, as expected of Queen Shirahama-sensei. I really do hope the anime pops off because I would like more Witch Hat Atelier figures and merch and art books. Speaking of which, if Kodansha can reprint the Witch Hat Atelier reproduction selection art book at some point, that would also be much appreciated, because 50,000 yen aftermarket for a book? I don't know about that, chief. Yuki and Kyo from Fruits Basket. Honestly, I could find Yuki for close to retail, so he's not really an issue. But holy shit, I am not paying like $300 on the Angry Cat Boy. I don't care if he's best boy in this series, I am not dropping that kind of money on him, especially when his figure looks worse than Yuki's. Also, I could have gotten Yuki on sale from Crunchyroll a while back, but my dumbass thought that the Fruits Basket figures looked boring, and also I wasn't into male character figures, but guess what? Your girl's into boring ass figures now, and I want to get my boys, so I guess I really screwed myself over yet again! Speaking of boys, I would also like this figure of N because he looks real good, and Zora looks super cute, and I also like plants, so this figure is right up my alley, just not for the aftermarket price. So I want a re-release. Kotobukiya, thanks again. And as a side note, N would look really cool next to the Alter Natsume, don't you think? Yeah? Yeah? Let's stick with the Unova characters for a sec with Miss Elesa. Super hot supermodel Nimbasa City gym leader, queen of the universe. Holy shit, her puffy jacket is so sick. I keep seeing her for like $300 at my local book off, and your girl's just like, oof, every time. Serena and Fennekin. Leaf and Squirtle. Red and Charmander. I just want my Pokemon figure shelf at not a crazy price point, please. Also, Marnie and Morpeko by Max Factory. Wasn't even that into Sword and Shield. Honestly, a very underwhelming game. But Marnie has a hella cute character design, and this figure is sick, but not $200 sick, so I would like a re-release. I could have gotten this one for $80 too, but my dumbass was just like, oh, I don't know. I shouldn't be spending money right now. Girl, you should have dropped that money back then. That was a great price. But if Max Factory re-releases this one in the future, I will drop that money again. And speaking of Max Factory, Hobby Max. These companies have nothing to do with each other. They just both have Max in the name, so that's the segue. I'm gonna go back to another clamp figure with the Hobby Max Yue. Glorious, glamorous, girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep Yue. Honestly, it's wild that there's even a figure of him when there isn't even a scale figure of Tomoyo, but I digress. Honestly, his face is a tad wonky, but it's such a sick figure. Love his pose, love his wings, love the base, love the illustration that this figure is based off. Hate that aftermarket price. Apparently he first tanked at release, but his price has since shot up to $400, and I'm not paying that. So if Hobby Max wants to re-release this one in celebration for the 25th anniversary of the anime, or for the upcoming anime sequel for Clear Card, that'd be sick, thanks. Problem is that Hobby Max doesn't seem to do re-releases outside of the Radio Eva line. But one can still hope, right? Right? Another Hobby Max clamp figure, Chi from Chobits. I actually already have a Chi figure. It's pretty cute, and also a little busted. But this one has her sitting on a lamppost that actually lights up, which I think is pretty neat. This one is also based on a clamp illustration, so naturally, it's a must-have. Honestly, it's wild to think that it retailed for 12,000 yen. If it had been released today, it'd be well over 20,000 or something. But that would still be better than the $350 to $400 I see her going for nowadays. But for the record, if Hobby Max does re-release this one, then I would much prefer the original 12,000 yen. The Mega House Lelouch and Suzaku. I actually haven't even finished watching Code Geass, although I do plan to finish it one day. But again, I do love Clamp's art style, and I love the fruity undertones. Therefore, I love this figure. It does seem like Mega House is re-releasing a lot of their other Code Geass figures, like the Pilot Suit C2, and the Lelouch and C2 set. So I think that this re-release isn't too out there, actually. The main issue is that, just like every other Mega House re-release, the price for these two boys would definitely be massively inflated. Which sucks, but, you know, better than the aftermarket prices, right? And finally, the Aniplex and Stronger Ultimate Madoka and Devil Homura. With the new Madoka Magica movie in the works, I have high expectations for our friends over at Stronger. First, a pre-order date for the Holy Mommy figure. Second, a re-release for the aforementioned Madoka and Homura. I don't really know if this is something within Stronger's control or Aniplex's, since Aniplex is the distributor, but that doesn't matter because what matters is that the aftermarket prices are notoriously bad and that everyone just wants to get these two at retail. Literally, they can price them at 30,000 yen each, and that would still be better than whatever the hell these secondhand prices are. I have a sort of unofficial rule for myself to buy only one figure per character, but I will happily break that rule to get these two if they were ever to re-release. That is how much I want them. I swear, Aniplex, please just open up pre-orders again. You did it for Mai. You did it for 02. So now, it's time to do it for my girls. It's easy money. That is it. Thank you. So on a more serious note, a lot of companies have been announcing re-releases for popular figures nowadays, like the Kadokawa Aqua and Megumin scales, or the My Dear Bunny Miku, Union Creative's Pika Picasso cat made recently, and even some binding figures. So I do feel that it's not too out there to say that even an unlikely re-release, like the Hobby Max UA, could actually happen. No guarantee, of course, but the likelihood is definitely higher than 0%. Also, some manufacturers, like Good Smile Company and Kotobukiya, have opened up surveys to know what characters people want figures of and which figures people want to see re-released. So if you're like me and desperately want some re-releases, I'd recommend filling out those surveys, or even just contacting the companies directly. I do genuinely want all of the figures that I mentioned to be re-released someday, but hopefully it'll be spaced out over the next few years, so that way I actually have time to save up money for all of them. And I also wanted to say a big thank you for 300 subs. Funnily enough, when I first started working on this video, I had hit 100 subs, and then when I started to record the audio, I had hit 200 subs. So I originally said thanks for 200 subs at this part, but now I'm re-recording it because I'm nearly at 350 subs, which is very, very cool. Thank you all for subscribing. You've all been super nice and very receptive to my videos, so I just wanted to say that I appreciate all of the support. I'm actually kind of surprised that my last couple of videos have done so well, especially considering that I don't post very frequently, but I'm very thankful for the positive feedback. Anyways, hope to see y'all next time in another 2 months or so. Bye!